to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. So first of all, I find this fascinating. You are 26-5 off a bye. That doesn't even make sense. It's like you're coaching at Alabama. So my theory is you're one of these guys that sits up at night and you're drawing plays all the time and you got little tricks. And if you give you another week, you drop more tricks. So a lot of it's that you love to drop tricks and plays, and everybody in the league hates to face you off a bye. That has to be some of it, right? Your tricks and your schemes in that extra week.
Well, Colin, we try to have some fun with it. I'm blessed to have some good coaches that help me with it, and I still enjoy doing it. So we get in there, we grind a little bit, and come up with some pretty good things, and we hope they work. We've been fortunate where a few of them have.
Yeah. So at the end of the year, Andy, I kept saying over and over, I said, what's going on with the Chiefs in December? They're just not quite firing. And I theorized, I said, when you're able to score so quickly, I wonder if it's hard to create urgency with guys. You have great players, you score quickly, and it was almost as if bored is the wrong word, but it didn't feel like your guys just knew they were better. But your December was kind of interesting. Go back. Were you unhappy with how you guys played in December?
Well, we started fast in most of those games, and then we had to kind of put it together in the second half. And some of that is what I was calling on the offensive side and maybe not staying as aggressive. Our guys do a pretty good job with staying in tune with the game. The thing I was probably most proud of was just how we finished the games. Just
right.
It would come down to the fourth quarter, and we were able to put the things away. But it wasn't as much boredom as it probably was just giving the guys a little bit more juice to play with.
In my life, John Elway was the first quarterback. We both kind of grew up with him in our generation, where John was almost better from behind than he was with a lead. Brady became the next guy, where Tom's better in the second half of Super Bowls trailing than he is in the first quarter. Patrick Mahomes feels like the third, where he is 15-4 or 15-5 after an interception. He falls behind. He plays with a joy. It's very rare. Most great quarterbacks aren't that. Did you notice it early? Is it from parenting? Is it just innate? Like he never changes his body language, Andy. He never changes his aesthetic or his style. When did you first notice that?
Yeah, right when we got him. He's got a certain enthusiasm about him, a childish enthusiasm. People always ask me to compare him to Brett Favre, and I'm going, maybe that's it. Maybe that part's it. They're different guys, obviously. All the guys are different. So, but he has that where you could be playing in the backyard, you could be playing, at the CVS parking lot, you could be playing in one of these beautiful stadiums that we have, and it's all the same. You're getting the same picture, and he comes to work every day with that, and he busts his tail to make sure things are right, and he brings everybody together that way. So he's a great uniter of your football team, and the guys on the offensive side get to do it with him every day.
Obviously, you are considered the great play designer of my life. You and Bill Walsh, you play design. Are there times you design these plays that you've ever just said to Mahomes, just, hey, kind of go with what you feel after the design? Like, is there a little ad lib built into this because he is so gifted?
I'll tell you what, Colin, he's a great ad libber, and I don't have to say a word to him. So I just want him to play the game. So we always talk about letting their personality show. Let your personality show. Well, that's his personality. He's going to take and make the play the best it possibly can be, just innately. And so I don't want to disrupt that. I don't want to get in the way of that. Just you let him go and let his greatness show.
So you face Brady a lot. You've had some success against him, but he is. Listen, you get late into games, and I'll watch you on the sidelines against Brady. It's no fun if he has the ball. It's just no fun. So when you know that you're not going to fool him, I mean, he's seen everything. Is there kind of a way to face all these years of facing him? Is there a trick? Is there something? I mean, what do you tell your defensive guys? What do you tell your coordinators? Any little nugget that works against him?
Well, you've got to play. You got to play 4 quarters against them, and then it's likewise on the other side. There's just never enough points that you're going to be able to score against that guy. I mean, you got to keep going, and if you don't, he's already proven that he can do that. That's what's made him a great player over all these years. So with our defense, Spags and his guys have done that. They've played 4 quarters of good football against them, and we've had a little success. But it's amazing that this guy's 43 years old, Colin. He's 43 years old, and I had a chance to play against him, or my team in Philadelphia did 16 years ago, and it doesn't look any different to me. This is what he is. I mean, there's some to this avocado ice cream, man. I got to get some.
Yeah, we all like ice cream. Just put some avocados in it, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's right.
So last year, you've been to now. This will be your 3rd Super Bowl. I asked Jimmy Johnson this yesterday. You're very good off buys. It's a game the world's watching. Do you ever have to say to yourself, hey, Andy, don't overcoach here. I got great players. Sometimes that extra week, there's going to be pressure in this game that some of your players, it's hard. It's a different game, Andy. Do you coach a Super Bowl slightly differently? Do you think about the pressure? Does any of that come into mind?
Well, it's an exciting atmosphere, and it's going to bring out the best in some guys, and other guys, they're going to have to warm up to it. So I get that. We try to get in our plays during the week before this week. So last week we got in the majority of the game plan, and that way we can go back and we can review it and go through it again, one more rep on it, and so on as we work through. There's a lot of media obligations this week, even not being in Tampa. So I'm glad we got the game plan in. The other thing I tell the coaches is, don't tinker with it. Just let it go. You got it in. You put your best stuff in, and let's roll with it. And you start adding just what you're saying. You start adding things into these things can grow to a monster, and then you can't go function. Yeah.
God, look at that last year. Isn't that amazing? What'd you do after you won last year? What'd you do that night? What'd you do the rest of the night?
Yeah. Well, they have a huge party, man. Pitbull was there. Colin, this joker is however old. He's not that young. However old he is, I feel like he's been going for a long time here. And he went till 4:30 in the morning. And I said, if he can do it, I can do it, man. I'm hanging right with him. Except the only difference was he was dancing. I was sitting.
By the way, do you worry at all? Chris Jones is talking about a little dynasty stuff. Do you ever say to your guys, stop, let's be a dynasty before we talk about a dynasty?
Yeah, Chris Jones is a big personality, man, and you love that about him. But you're going to get a couple of those fluffy things come out of there, man, that you just you shake your head. But if you know the kid, you kind of laugh it off and go with it. He comes out every day, man. He's got a smile on his face, and he just goes. He's the epitome of a defensive lineman. If a Martian came down and said, "Show me a defensive lineman," besides Jason Taylor, I'd show him this guy. Those two are completely opposite, Joey. I'm just telling you, completely opposite. But I'd show him Chris. I'll tell you, he's a beauty.
Yeah, Andy. So are you. We love having you on the show. Can't wait. We'll be watching. So will America, man. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Joy, hello. You look great back there, and having to deal with Colin, man, you got a special place in heaven, babe.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck Sunday.
All right, thank you.
All right, Andy Reid. I really do think this is one of the, not every dynasty is, and they're not a dynasty yet. And what is a dynasty? I think, to me, 3 feels like 3-peat, 3 dynasty. They're kind of built to win this year and next year. We'll talk about this later. Then the numbers get difficult. And they, Brett Veach did a really good job. So they give Mahomes the greatest contract ever. But he was smart about it. He's like, listen, just give us about 2 more years where we're not choked financially. So they're not this year. They're not next year. Then you get into the 30s. It's a little high. Then you get into the 40s. So this thing should go Sunday, another year. Then you're going to start getting into Tyreek Hill's contract is up, and Travis Kelce's 34, and the offensive tackles are getting older, and Honey Badger. You start looking at the numbers here. You're going to be good Sunday and next year. And then there's going to be really difficult conversations. Now, the good news is they draft well. Yeah, as long as Andy's there and Brett Veach is there, the offense will be fine. But there's those defensive linemen, Frank Clark's like 25 large a year. Like those defensive linemen, there are not many great ones. They've got two, and they pay them a ton. And it's hard to keep both once your quarterback's in the 30, 40 million category. Coming up next, what's the public betting Sunday? May surprise you. Any credit card can offer cash back, but only Discover matches all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year. Yes, it's like getting one of those birthday cards shaped like cash. You know, cash is inside before you open it. But in this case, it's stuff with your first year cashback match. Don't even have to send a thank you note. Cashback match only by Discover card. Learn more, discover.com/match. Discover something brighter. Andy Reid, Kansas City Chiefs, is now joining us live, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. So first of all, I find this fascinating. You are 26-5 off a bye. That doesn't even make sense. It's like you're coaching at Alabama. So my theory is you're one of these guys that sits up at night and you're drawing plays